Hello everyone, and welcome to Poetry Time with me, Ash, episode 1. This is a new series I've been wanting to do, where I can combine two hobbies I do, which is, of course, posting videos to YouTube, and also poetry, but I could share my poetry with y'all, and I could, possibly tell you about a couple of them. I might not share a lot of info about all of them, but definitely one or two of them I'll talk about how I came about writing them, I guess. But well, tonight, uh, on this episode, I think I have, let's see, one, two, three, hang on, one, two, three, four, five. I have 5 poems for you. So, before I go into these, before I start reading the poetry I've written, I will give a trigger warning. Some of these poems, and for future episodes as well, I'll give trigger warnings as well. But some of these poems deal with slightly dark themes, and more hinted at and stuff, but I'll let you know which ones they are and stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to give that trigger warning. This is the first episode. It's gonna be kind of like I'm trying to figure out what to do, what not to do. But I'll go ahead and move on to the first poem. How about that? So this first poem I wrote when I was in, I want to say, middle school going into high school? I can't really remember. But I was in that kind of, I guess you could say, teenage angst sort of part of schooling and stuff. But I had a habit of not really portraying my emotions, or being worried that if I did, I would do something wrong, you know? But, this first poem is called Forbidden Emotions. I'm gonna turn down the fire a little bit. There we go. It's nice and cozy, isn't it? God, I could stare at this fire all day. Okay, so, first poem. Forbidden Emotions. I walk along these forbidden halls, staring at frames upon the walls. Most of these were plain and dry. I walked along to pass them by. Most I pass do not betray the feelings I am scared to display. The feelings that are kept in a pen, their description I couldn't begin. Those like jealousy, greed, and rage are meant to be locked in a cage, but one day it will surely break, and I don't know what turn they will take. I don't know what day that they will show, but I hope we can make them slow, and look them back inside the cage. And lock them back inside the cage, to be forever lost in the letters of this page. So, it's a short poem, but I read this poem and I think about how I was mentally back then and how I am now, and I feel like I have made progress. So I love this poem, but it's a look back, definitely. But I do enjoy it because it was one of the first poems I ever wrote. Actually, I think this was the first poem I ever wrote. But yeah, I do enjoy it still. Let's see, the next one. Hang on, let me just make sure. Yeah, okay. So the next one is named Uncaged, and I don't know how to put it into words on how I wrote this poem, so I'm just going to read it to you, and let me know what you think in the comments of this poem right here. She sits in the corner of the cage, feeling nothing but the inward rage. How long she's been in she doesn't know. She just wishes she could get out and go. She feels a small tingle of pain, and it sits there in her brain. She feels a wetness in her eye, so she bows her head and begins to cry. This starts to feel better, but knows it doesn't matter. She will be forever in this trap, letting the hurt and pain overlap. Then out of the corner of her vision, she sees someone on a mission. But she tries not to get up her hope, for if it's a lie, she couldn't cope. But to her surprise and disbelief, they stop and she cries in relief. They pull out a tiny silver key. Finally, she will be set free. They unlock and open the door and say, "You will not be locked out no more." They start to step to the side, but instead sticks their hand inside. She reaches and grabs the hand, and they pull her to. Sorry, they but ugh. Then they pull her to a stand. She walks out of the cage, her life moving to another stage. They let go and turn around, for what they were looking for has been found. And that one is called Uncaged. I can't remember exactly when I wrote this poem, but I've always enjoyed rereading it. Now this next poem is, I am a big fan of Shakespeare, love stories, tragedy, all that. So I kind of went a little bit in that direction with this next one. It's called Night and Day. But here we go. Tell me what you think. We are a fierce creature of the night, only able to live in the moon's dim light, to feel nothing but the night's cold hand. Night will always be our one and only friend. They are a gentle creature of the sun. No foul deed have they done. They shine like rays of light, yet always think of the creature of night. Two creatures have the other in sight, one of day and one of night. But when one is awake, the other will sleep. In this endless cycle, they both sleep. Their feelings for the other start to grow, yet the sorrow of being apart is all they know. For the night is too dark for the creature of day, and the sun will destroy the night creature with a single ray. When night and day finally think all hope is gone, and they think their love is hopelessly done, they find a place where day can finally hold night, and there they can be together in dusk's violet light. So it's got that tragedy part of it, and in the end, while yes, you can think that, oh, it's only dusk's light, so it's going to be a small time, it's still, that small time together to those two creatures is everything. So that's that one. Alright. This next one is actually one I have written recently, and actually, you know what, no, I think I'll save that one to last. So I will start with this one, and this is the one that got me, this is the one that I wrote when I was just trying to start getting into poetry, and if I remember correctly, I was not in a good mindset, you would say, when I wrote this. Like, poetry for me has always been a form of outlet or a form of escapism when things are going kind of meh or bleh, you know what I mean? But I was starting to write this. I was starting to write this one. I was running through like lines in my head, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write this. It's gonna be dark, but I'm gonna write it. And this is the one I was saying trigger warning about because it does talk about darker subjects. But and this poem again, it goes from the point of view from she, so a more feminine point of view. But this one is called Darkest Hour. As she sits in the chair with blurred eyes, she stares, for all she can do is weep. This was the life she wanted to keep. Hands clenched in tight fists, her eyes glare at the knots and twists. A soft whisper of a cry escapes bruised lips. The pain in her wrist begins to eclipse. She lowers her head to gaze, as her mind goes into a foggy haze. All she can see is the color red, as the emptiness begins to fill her head. She closes her pale green eyes, ready for the final unfolding of ties, breathing shallow and forced, as the darkness begins its course. Then came a familiar sense, as it appeared and became dense. She gazed upward with her one final breath, thinking it would be her death. But death she did not see. Confused, she whispered, "Wait, you're me?" He stared at her with red eyes flecked with blue, and he said, "I finally found you." And thinking back on this, when I wrote this, I wasn't in the best mindset. But I think channeling all that into poetry and into something that you know can help you is very good to do. Like, if you need a form of escape, do it in a way where it's not going to cause you any pain, but also maybe it could help in a creative way, you know? Alright, so this last one, it does not have a title. I have not titled it yet, and I can't think of a title. So, whoever watches this video and gets this far, if you get this far and you hear this last one with the no title, leave a comment with a possible title and all that, and I'll let everyone know in the next episode of Poetry Time what the title of this poem is. But on to this next poem. Again, trigger warning because this does deal with a dark subject. Alright. As I climb limb from limb up the tree, memories of us are all I see. Times where our love was great before it was ended by cruel fate. As the thoughts race through my skull, I feel my senses lower and dull. I watch the little droplets of red fall to the ground and spread. I lay back to feel the rushing air as my deepest emotions are laid bare. I hear creaking through senses dull as the limbs stretch and stop my fall. Each one snaps as I rush closer to the end, who is reaching out like a lover. Yet as I fall, each second stretches out, and for a moment clears the doubt. As I look to the sky, I see your face, reaching out my hands for a final embrace. But the ground reaches up to embrace me first. Pain flares, then numbs, as darkness overcomes the worst. Breaths come out heavy and hitched, as my eyelids droop and body twitch. The red spreads out of what's left behind, as the darkness consumes my mind. As I take my final breath, a whisper is all I have left. A love that was rare and true, a love that will always be for you. Your eyes shine like stars. Oh, sorry, that's another one. But yeah. But yes, that was the final thing. So I'll reread the final thing for you without the extra of the poem that is not finished. As I take my final breath, a whisper is all I have left. A love that was rare and true, a love that will always be for you. I can't remember what made me write this poem, but I'm glad it turned out the way it did. It's dark, but I like it because I wrote it. But I know this video has been kind of over the place where I've had a little bit of stutter and I've had to reread a little bit, but I'm not used to reading, especially poetry, which I will say, at least this is the way I think of poetry. It's a reflection of the writer's. It's a reflection of the writer, I feel like, or at least I think mine somewhat is sometimes. But I do love writing poetry, and I was a bit nervous when I wanted to read all these poems, but well, I've read them, and I hope you enjoyed listening to me read my poetry. Again, sorry for the all over the place a little bit, but hey, it's the first episode. I'll tighten ship when second episode comes by. But I will call it for tonight. Thank you for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the nice cool sounds of the wind and the fire, and I hope you enjoyed the poetry I've read to y'all. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, a comment, especially if you've made it this far and you can help me figure out what the name of that poem is. So leave it in the comment below and I'll know you made it to the end of the video. But if you liked, leave a comment, leave a like, and you don't have to, but if you want to, subscribe and hit that bell so you know next time when I post a video or do a stream, you can come watch and hang out. Alright, until next time, goodbye.